I went to the fair on Thursday. And do you know you know that feeling when you get on the roller coaster and you're up at the top and you're so excited and you sort of kind of think you might have made a mistake? But you feel so alive and you feel like you're really, you're alive and you're there and you know that life is happening. Well, I didn't actually ride the roller coaster, but I did ride the sky ride. And for some reason, the sky ride freaked me out this year. I don't know, last year it didn't do a thing to me, but this year all of a sudden I'm like, this is high. But I felt really alive, and I thought, well, I feel really alive. And I never am going to jump out of an airplane. Thank you very much. Many people. But the theme is play. And so I was determined to do a lot of research for you because I love you. And so I had a lot of fun on Thursday at the fair. I partook in things on a stick. I walked around. It was just awesome. And there's something about that feels like a vacation, right? I mean, I think that's why people love things like the fair. I know that's why I love Disneyland, because Disneyland always feels like a vacation. And I love, as I talked about before, I love going to the parks with the pool. If I just go to that park down the street and sit around that pool, that feels like a vacation to me. Good emphasis. Good emphasis. I researched a lot last night. I went out to Chuck's and listened to some jazz just for you. You're welcome. And I told Roland, well, we can at least stay for one set. And we were staying for one set. And then Sarah Routh was singing, who also sang here. And she said, oh, if you have to go, that's okay. And I said, and Roland looked at me, yeah, we have to go. And I said, no, we don't. I'm talking about play tomorrow. It is my duty to stay here and research. And we really had a lot of fun. Part of why we had so much fun, I think, was because Sarah was really having fun. She was singing. She doesn't usually sing with jazz. She's a songwriter. She does her own material most of the time. And she got up, and she hadn't actually practiced these old jazz standards, but her mother was a singer in a jazz band, and her dad was a drummer, and that's how her parents met. And her parents were there, and it's a small room, and it just felt like we were all family because Sarah was having so much fun. And, some of the time she started out, and she's looking back and like, I don't know the words, asked her mom to come up and sing. And the thing that I want all of us, I hope for all of us, I pray for all of us, I wish for all of us, and especially myself, is that sense of fun. Now, why is a sense of fun part of your spiritual path? Why is that? Our spiritual path is about evolving ourselves. It's about being the most whole person that we can be. Holy really means whole. And how we become whole is through integration of all the parts of ourselves. All the parts of ourselves. And let's face it, we live in a culture that is a little bit unbalanced. And being able to express all the parts of your whole self doesn't always get a lot of support out in the world. But we want to create the place in here so that when you walk in the doors here, that you get to express your whole self, the fun part and the not fun part and the ornery part and all that. But today we want to talk about the fun part. So I really want to express that integration is holy, and wholeness is holy, and the journey is in looking at all the parts of yourself, and sometimes it can just be fun. It doesn't always have to be miserable and feeling your feelings that you don't want to feel. It can be feeling the feelings you want to be feeling. It can be the fun. It can be excitement. It can be alive. It can be hanging out with friends, listening to music, relaxing, being present. It can be awesome. Well, Jesus has a lot to say about that. Did you know that playing is praying twice? It's true. This is the day that God has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. That is, of course, from the Psalm. Jesus didn't write that. In fact, Jesus didn't actually write the Bible. I hope you all know that. There are the 4 Gospels, and some of the and parts of the New Testament are definitely written about him by people who never met him. Just so you know that's what most Bible scholars agree on, just for a little bit of history. But he left his mark, right? He left his mark. He left such a strong mark that we're still talking about it today. This is what he says about play. Now, you have heard, be like a little child and enter the kingdom of heaven from Matthew. And I'm going to read you a similar piece of scripture from the Gospel of Thomas, just because it's a little bit different. It's somebody else who wrote about Jesus. Jesus saw infants being nursed. He said to his disciples, "These infants are like those who enter the kingdom." They said to him, "Shall we then as children enter the kingdom?" Jesus said to them, because this part makes it more clear, right? "When you make the two one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and the female one and the same, so that the male not be male, nor the female female, and when you fashion eyes in the place of an eye, and a hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, and a likeness in place of a likeness, then will you enter the kingdom." So you're all clear on that? My interpretation of that is that it's about wholeness. That it's about wholeness. When there's neither male nor female, it's your spirit and it's whole. It's integrating all the parts of yourself. That's when you can enter the kingdom of heaven. When you're innocent like a child, or happy like a child. When you're whole, when you're in the present moment. So how close am I getting, Kathy? How much? I have a minute and a half, okay. That's good. So that holiness and that innocence of kids lives in everybody. Now, I noticed that these candles are behaving a little weirdly, and some of them are brighter, and most of them will go out. The spark's still there. It's because they melted the wax too fast, and there wasn't enough wick. That's the technical answer. But the metaphor is that we all still have our spark of innocence or aliveness or wholeness or whatever you want to call it, to be like a child. And yes, that will get us into the kingdom, and the kingdom is consciousness. It's not a place, it's your consciousness. So we can enter at any time. We don't have to actually go anywhere other than here. So I'm going to say it's 10 minutes, right? It's 10 minutes, and now we're going to play. We are going to ignite that spark, and we're going to make it burn bright. Now, this first game is a little bit silly, and I think it's a lot of fun. So here's the deal. I'm going to be the one calling out what you do, and then I'm going to let other people call out what you do when you get on. It'll be fun. Trust me, it'll be fun. This is called the seat changing game. So do this as your best ability. Right? Do this as your best ability. So this game starts out easy, and then it gets very tricky. All right, this is for people who like ice cream, stand up if you like ice cream. Get a new chair. Get a new chair. People who like ice cream. Can be right next to you, can be far away, just get a new chair. I'm proud of those people. Okay, now sit down. Sit down in your new chair. Oh, Linda, you get extra points. Oh, and Paul, you are the last person seated. Okay. We just like to know that the last person seated gets to usually after we do this a few times, they get to name the new thing. Okay, this is for people who have pets. Stand up. Get a new chair. Okay, this is for people who like their haircuts. Stand up. Get a new chair. Wow, and it actually, Dennis is the last person to sit down. So Dennis, you get to pick the next thing. What do you pick? Here.
People who like sunshine.
Okay, stand up, get a new chair. Be the last one. You'd think Linda would always be the last one, but no.
People who like rain.
That's right. Get a new chair. Okay, it's not Linda again. It's Craig. It's your turn to pick, Craig.
People who enjoy a good storm.
It's the weather theme. People who enjoy a good storm. Get a new chair. I know you're new. Do you mind?
People who love chocolate.
People whose name are Brian. I'm serious. There might be another Brian here. You never know. Get a new chair. Thanks. Okay, so can my fun helpers go around now and collect the good news? Did they already did? Okay, well, collect some. Collect the rest of them. Now, usually when we play that game, we play it in a circle and there's one chair not there. And so the person who doesn't sit, and and people scramble, then they start thinking it's fun, so they take a really long time to sit down, and it's a lot of fun. And I just thought it would be fun, but it just sort of daunted me to think about making the right amount of chairs and making it in a circle. But we'll do that someday. We will do that someday. So I want to say that Brian's going to read the good news, but while he's reading that, there's one more activity that y'all can do. You can sit and listen, and you can also, at the back row, there's empty prayer flags. Now, Unity World Day of Prayer is coming up September 10th, and I want you to, everybody is invited to write something on one of those flags, and then we will be stringing them across the wall and make some banners with the prayer flag. So you can do anything you want to that prayer flag. You can draw a picture on it, you can put your name on it, you can put your intention on it, and just help to add your energy to our Unity World Day of Prayer, which is September 10th. And now we're just going to listen to Brian, and feel free to go back there and make your prayer flag.
That's the one I had before. All right. Hey, these are some really good ones. Today's my birthday. That's always a good one. Not mine. I'm reading it. It's not my birthday, but somebody's birthday out there. The earth is still turning, and I'm happy for day and night. John's cows are happy. My kitties were adopted and are in a great home. That's a good one. The light is shining and the School of Metaphysics is growing and Unity energy is expanding. I'm eating healthier. I've lost 11 pounds. That it is exceptional outside in every way. God is good. Rejoice. I have no idea who wrote this. 11 years ago today. Oh, now I know who wrote the earlier one. 11 years ago today was one of the 4 best days of my life. Molly Grace Manning was born. I got to babysit my new great-grandson yesterday. Thanks. I am healthy, and the weather today is incredible. The panda and the Washington, D.C. Zoo had a cub yesterday.
Cool.
That's 2 cubs. 2 cubs? Nice. Okay. This is really good writing. Love the fallish weather this morning. Grateful. Good coffee and conversation. Something with good friends this morning. Zanzibar. That's what that says. Zanzibar. I'm here with my grandchildren. I can feel the presence of the Lord at work in my family. My father-in-law didn't have to stay in the hospital. That's always great. Oh, that is so interesting. Adong will rebuild. Yay! I'm in love. I got to go to the Iowa State Fair twice, and that is a celebration. I found a church home where I really feel the Spirit of God. My son Dan is back at Iowa City for classes. I wish him the best. I wish him the most. We do too. I have a home and feel safe where I'm living. Very important. That's great to celebrate. My vision is clear. Wow. That's a good one. I was understood and supported by my sister. I was heard by my brother. It's Iowa, it's August, and it's 65 and sunny. We know what Augusts in Iowa are usually about. My dog loves me, I think. My parents are both going to be able to visit me soon. That's a great thing. Families and visits. I'm attracting beautiful men and women into my life, and the possibilities are endless. I am cared for. My good news is when I got here, there was a monarch butterfly landing on the coneflowers out on the patio. That's like 4 things of good news. A monarch butterfly, coneflowers, and the patio. This is perfect. No news is good news. I don't know if they meant no news, but I made a new friend this week. I have such a fabulous support system in my spiritual family, and I feel so much love. After 43 years living in our home, we had new siding installed this past week. That is a celebration. Good news that I am here with my Unity family. My good news for the day is that Connie is going to be back next week to lead the Conversations with God class. Woohoo! I am breathing into life. I thank God for leading me to this church in Unity teachings. This is cool. I was awarded Employee of the Year last week. Or at work. At work. Congratulations. My dad is stronger and happier after moving into independent living and out of his home of 50 years. It's an important move. I led our fundraiser and we exceeded our goal for dollars, and I exceeded my own expectations for personal learning experiences. Way to celebrate.
Well, let's have a big... Yay for all the good news.
Where's Dan with our pyro?
Oh, cool. So, that was just 2 of the spiritual practices about play. Of course, there's lots more. And what I want you to do is this week, your assignment is to do something silly, do something fun, do something engaging, something that gets your sense of play going. Now, I want to leave us with this beautiful thought from Henry David Thoreau. There were times when I could not afford to sacrifice the bloom of the present moment to any work, whether of head or hands. Sometimes in a summer morning, having taken my accustomed bath, I sat in my sunny doorway from sunrise till noon, wrapped in a reverie among the pines and hickories and sumacs, in undisturbed solitude and stillness while the birds sang around. I grew in those seasons like corn in the night, and they were far better than any work of the hands have ever been. They were not time subtracted from my life, but so much over and above my usual allowance. Let's take an offering for unity.